Today we're going to talk about being the dragon, okay, or basically harnessing the ability to change someone's persona or their mindset at any moment. Okay, so those of you who have delved into esoteric circles, um, I'm sure you've studied stuff like satanic ritual abuse or the fracturing of psyches by heinous acts committed against people, right? So they get acts or trauma, so much trauma completed against them that their brain fractures or their psyche fractures, and basically they have to become a different individual or come up with some type of alter ego to be able to help them survive that particular trauma or that moment. Okay, and so that's how that that item is trained, right? But the concept of shifting from um, one mind focus to another mind focus is kind of like the theory of the dragon, right? The dragon can change, right? So within like the five animal style kung fu, like the dragon represents the culmination of all the five animals, right? Because it has like the head and the claws of like the tiger, right? It's got like the body of the snake, it's got the wings of the bird, right? It's got the agility of the leopard, right? And so basically it has like a little bit of everything um, within it, right? And so people don't, well, not everybody know, but all martial arts kind of train this process. They just don't do it in the same way that um, like evil would do, right? So they train by training their students to turn on and turn off the mind focus. So how do they do this? Well, they do this by entering the dojo, you bowing, and when you leave the dojo, you bowing. So you're training your mind during the time that you're at the dojo. You're a student. You're learning an art. Okay, same thing, where you sit down, you put on a belt, right, and you take off a belt. Okay, so during that time frame, you're teaching the mind that okay, when I put on my belt, okay, it's go time. Okay, from this point on, I'm moving forward. Okay, when you take off the belt, you're saying, okay, it's time for me to go home. It's time for me to settle my mind and my body and prepare myself for a different stage in my life. Okay, another way that the martial arts trains the same kind of fracturing or the same type of alter ego process is during hardship. For instance, when a teacher tells you, oh, okay, you have to stay in your horse stance for like a minute or 10 minutes, okay? And the student is sitting there and they're struggling, they're trying to buckle under pressure, their muscles are like aching, right? So the same process occurs, right? They change their mindset. And then um, it gets to the point where they put themselves in that focus where they can get through that event. So the dragon concept of the spirit is much like that. The dragon is able to change at the moment to adapt to the situation. If it needs to be in water, it becomes water, right? It goes into the water, turns into a fish, that kind of stuff. It reacts accordingly or it adapts accordingly. Um, and the whole concept of mentally adapting, physically adapting, works in that same way. So how the dragon associates and spirit associates to the art is basically that way. There'll be more videos on this. I know it's a little bit confusing, but in a nutshell, that's the concept that we want to get off. We're using the magic um, in the actual training of the drills of martial arts to generate um, those alter egos, which help you get through moments in your life. Like even like at tournaments, when the child has to like go through the process of standing up to the judges and explaining their kata, doing their kata, and then they're done and they leave. That moment is like kind of like a go time, a focus time, a mental mindset, and that's pretty much what martial arts in general focuses. So unlike um, the satanic ritual abuse, unlike the drastic trauma that um, schisms psyche, right? Martial arts helps you or helps train that as well. But it's kind of like the good way of doing things, not the evil way of doing things.